which is geared to enrich you, mind, body, and soul, right here on 246 BajanVibesRadio.com, 12 till 3 on a Sundays a.m., 7 till 10 p.m., 8 till 11 Eastern Standard Time. Don't you miss it. Feeling lazy? Feeling tired?
Dr. Susan Herson had a vision in her mind, partnered up with sisters Karen and Joan, the caring kind, to bring you the Glow Guide, a comfort you can hold. Location sharing and soft light, a safer story told. With anti-tip design and automatic LED glow, for your family and loved ones, peace of mind can grow. Oh, Glow Guide.
Hi, I'm Dr. Susan Herson, owner of RemMD and the maker of Glow Guide. My father and I share a unique bond. We are both U.S. Navy veterans and physicians. My dad was very active into his late 80s, playing tennis, skiing, and working. But in his 90s, dementia caused frequent falls. Despite my more than 20 years of medical experience, at times I felt powerless to help safeguard him at night. Sure, conventional cane lights existed, but he would never have remembered to turn one on or charge one. This is what inspired Glow Guide. It is the smart accessory to transform canes, walkers, and wheelchairs. It lights up, locates, and links to family members. This is freedom to mobilize for my family and yours. Thanks. Last week, I met Joan Williams and Karen Pascal. We were all at the New York City Department of Veterans Services luncheon. Turns out they were the keynote speakers, but they're also certified health coaches. They were kind enough to take an interest in my business, RemMD. I showed them Glow Guide, and they saw immediately the value. That was touching. They also spoke of their grandma and how she might have benefited from seeing automatically at night. They promoted my business from the moment we met. They're hosting a YouTube live stream on a Sunday evening. I hope you can join us. Thanks so much.
When the path ahead is feeling rough and shadows try to steal your trust, my Glow Guide for safety lights their path and bring confidence, comfort and peace of mind.
Well, hello. How are you guys doing? What's new and good? You came in with a ball of energy.
Well, you know what? We got Nancy in the house.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And I can tell you, I think my mom could use one of those glow guides.
There we got
That'd
it.
be
There we.
great.
Wow.
We'll send the link to you.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
And
Yes.
anybody out there who are interested in the glow guide, just contact us and we'll send the link to you and you can purchase the glow guide. Yes. Wow. We got a sale already.
And the beauty about it is that when you purchase the glow guide, that you will also, as a complimentary call, we will able to connect you with Dr. Susan, and she will able to talk with you as a special gift of making the purchase.
Yes, absolutely. So you'll have a chance to talk to Dr. Susan as well. Yes.
That's excellent.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you know what? It's something good that I myself and Joan, since we saw her at the veterans event in New York City, and she told us about it because we are caregivers as well. We really understand the importance of that glow guide.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's not just as you can see in the advertisement, it's not just for a walk alone. It's so many other things that it can do as well. So get your glow guide. So this
My
evening
goodness.
we're gonna talk about spiritual evolution, true spiritual evolution.
Absolutely.
Because it's a process that we go through every day. And the process sometimes can be so painful for us because we don't understand what's happening. That's the point. We do not understand what's going on with our lives. And because we do not understand, we start to blame ourselves. We are blaming people. So many things start to happen at that point in time because remember, we don't know what's happening. It's
So what
it's
is
a,
it
it's
they
a
say
phase
though?
in life that we
To
all go through.
Mhm.
But that particular phase, many times we're asking, we want spiritual evolution, but we don't understand what is spiritual evolution. So we have Nancy here today, and Nancy's going to dive deep into some great pointers for us and help us understand true spiritual evolution because it's not a destination.
No.
It's about remembering and returning. It's about rising. It's about a moment you stop shrinking your soul. Because many times that is what we're doing. We try to shrink ourselves to fit in. But instead, we need to expand because it's a form of expansion. And it's very courageous.
Well, I
It's an
think it's
act of
also
shedding.
I
It's
think it's
time to
also
shed.
not
Shed what's not yours. Because many times we are carrying around stuff, and these stuff that we're taking around for years, it's not around to carry. But we continue to carry that heavy burden, and it's shedding what never was yours, and it's reclaiming what is always yours. It's about reclaiming and going through the spiritual evolution. It's a shadow side to it as well, because a lot of resistance comes up with us because, again, we don't understand what's happening. So we tend to resist, and fear comes up as well. Sometimes the fear that comes up, it paralyzes us. And we are not realizing that we are outgrowing these familiar spaces. Sometimes we start to get emotional waves start to happen. And it becomes so overwhelming on us. And then we experience grief of releasing the old version of ourselves. But this evening is about remembering every version that you shed is necessary. It's completely necessary for your evolution. And the journey is not about perfection, because we want everything to be perfect. The journey is about alignment. It's about alignment, and it's about the truth. Because you know what? Your soul knows the truth. And it's a sacred unfolding because things gonna start to unfold in your life. And it's very sacred. And it's for you. The unfolding is for you. And it happens when we stop performing. Because many times we're just performing. We're not checking in with ourselves. We're not understanding again what's going on with us. And at that point in time, when we don't understand, that is the time you have to reach out and get the right kind of help that you need. Reach out and get the right kind of help that you really need. And true spiritual evolution is about awakening. It's it's about understanding the intuition and waking up because everything is right there, but it's just lying dormant because you're not aligned. It's lying dormant. But when you go through the evolution, you understand that it's an awakening phase and you don't have to ask for permission. You have all the choices in your life that you can make those real conscious choices. And it is start embracing and embodying the divine assignment that you came here for. But you know what? I'm not going to take up much more of the time. I'm going to be tossing the mic over to Lady J and to Nancy. And Nancy, you want to thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us today because when we had our call with you, there's so many things that aligned. When we had that call, we aligned so much in the spiritual realm. And
Absolutely. And I want to
we
thank you.
know that you're going to unpack some real good nuggets here this evening for our audience. So we just want to thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us in this space to unpack those nuggets for our audience. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for choosing your path that you're walking on with grace and alignment because many times we tend to fight our path because we don't understand our purpose. So we keep fighting. But thank you so much for aligning yourself with your path, aligning yourself with your higher self, and understanding your purpose on your journey here. Thank you so much. I am Lady K, Holistic Health and Wellness Coach, amongst many other things, but I want to toss the mic now to Lady J. Lady J, take the mic away.
Wow, wow. What an opening. What an
Thank
opening.
you. It's right.
You know, that is the thing when we are aligned, when we turn inwards, when we have the level of awareness and living our highest selves, because when we live in our higher self, then our our way of life is different, I should say. I don't want to say act different, but I mean we step into our fullness because we so self-assured and we
Right.
know who we are, right? So we're not playing on a low vibrational state. We have moved to a higher level, and as we say, self-assurance, and knowing who you are and having that self-awareness, as you like to speak about, Lady K. So here is where we are, and what a treat tonight that we're going to be to whatever time you're catching the show, whether it's night or in the evening or whatever it's time for you. But it's a real treat, and this we got connected with Nancy with true alignment too as well, because we're going to talk a lot about alignment tonight and the spaces we are all in. But this connection that resulted for the show tonight came about by alignment as well. So it just goes to show you that as you move on in life, and you sometimes you don't really have to do nothing. It's connected to you in some shape or form. And that is how we got connected with Nancy, such a beautiful and amazing soul. And she's going to sit back tonight and relax because you are in for a treat. Make your notes, journaling, whether you do it on your regular writing or your, however you choose to. But as we live life, we want things that we can hold on to, just a word, a phrase, or tips that can help us and guide us along on our journey through life. I mean, look, we are on almost the conclusion of July, and we're moving through so fast, the 7 month of 2026. And sometimes we all have come in, we all enter into 2026 with, lots of goals, lots to do, because it's a normal thing. We are excited about life. We want to accomplish so many things, and we are ambitious people, and there was a lot of things that we wanted, but sometimes life get in the way, things happen. And so tonight we want to ask you just to pause and look and see where you are, and the things that make sense to you that you can focus on deeply and move forward to conclude 2026 strong. Just zoom in on that, zoom in on that, things that make sense. And you want to be very intentional. When we enter into 2026, we came in with one word, and our one word was intentionality, right? And so we move to this year with intention. How are we going to move? Pay attention to things that make sense to you, because you want to live a quality life. You want to be able to live the best version of yourself. And so as you live, you want to, as you focus in on living the best version of yourself, then you choose, how do I focus my energy? What am I listening to? What is my self narrative? How do I speak to myself on a daily basis? Right? You may look at failures, you may look at your setbacks, you may look at your falls, you may look at how you rise. And as we like to say, it's not the fall, it's the rise that follow after. The level of resilience that you've grown into, the experience, your experience shapes who you are. So when you look at yourself and where you are right now in 2026, take time, pause, celebrate your wins, big or small. You work hard to get there. And let those pause be intentional. Clap for yourself, because look how far you came. You've overcome so many things: the tears, the rejection, the heartbrokenness of so many things. But whatever it is, make that intentional pause for yourself. Get outdoors, focus on nature, whatever spiritual practice you hold on to each his own, as we always say. But hold on to something that can carry you through. Because as you step higher, right, you need to be stronger. And there has to be something, for each his own. But there's got to be something that's going to keep you steady. That when the challenges arises, and the moments that you feel sad, and the moments you feel frustration, there's something. What do you hold on to that can keep you steady, that you don't fall apart easily? Surround yourself with the right kind of people who can support you, that can rally you, that on the low days and the days that you feel down and you feel like I can't do this. They say, yeah, you got it within you. You can do it. And those are the things you want people to surround yourself with the right kind of people who can support you, who can uplift you. Focus on gratitude. Gratitude is a tool. Gratitude for people that we speaking about that to support you, but gratitude for yourself. Look how far you've come. You got so much within you. You're stronger than you think. You're stronger than you think. Yes, you who are listening tonight, you are stronger than you think. Remind yourself who you are. Look yourself in the mirror daily and said, I am special. I am amazing. I am unique. I am capable. I have the level of confidence that when I show up, I can show up full. That is why we wrote the book Self Care is Intentional. Because you got to pause and you got to focus on yourself. Because you're doing a disservice to others when you're serving from an empty cup. You gotta make sure that your cup stays filled, so that when you show up full. You can serve with your excellent self, and people can feel the level of energy, because when you come with a great vibration. Your frequency is high, and people can feel that because it's energetic. One of the books also that we written together is Your Gut in You, right? So it's important that you choose the right kind of food for yourself. Focus on your microbiome, because as we live and as we grow and we continue to experience growth and expansion, it's important us to nourish and nurture ourselves. But the right kind of food, the quality food. And we're going to hear a lot more coming out of our special guest tonight, Nancy, who's going to talk about diet and all the good, great stuff. But it's important for us to focus on what we're putting in on our bodies so that we can have the level of vitality. We don't feel tired and fatigued, brain fog. No, we show up and we have a level of clarity. Because when you work, you function with a level of clarity. You know the direction that you want to move in. You know the direction that you want to move in. So tonight, sit back and relax. I want to touch also on when you wake up in the morning, or whatever you're doing. It's nice to set a morning routine so that you feel fortify yourself. Morning routine, nightly routine, so that you can always stay center and balance, so that whatever you encounter during the day, as I said before, you're steady, you're anchored,
Mhm.
so that you can be strong and people can experience your greatness because that's who you are.
Mhm.
My name is Lady J, certified holistic health and wellness coach, and among many other things that we do. But we just want to say thanks to all of you who continue to support us, continue to send us notes, continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and all the great things that we are experiencing from you as we reciprocate to you, sharing goodness, bringing great guests like Nancy tonight, who's going to share and empower you, expand your toolkit so that you cannot, just not move in true life, but you can move through life with solid things that make you solid, grounded, so that you can able to be self-assured. So that as you turn inwards, there are tips that she's going to share tonight with us all, because we are learning too as well, that you can able to live the life that you truly truly deserve. So Nancy, we just want to say thank you for taking the time to share space with us, coming all the way from Hawaii, and you're going to share your journey with us, and living in Hawaii a year and a half ago, and you just really living your dream, you're just living your best life, because you have embraced what is given to you. Your soul is jumping for joy because you're really able to express the greatness that is within you. So we just want to say thank you so much for being here, and we know we are in for a great treat tonight. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, ladies. I'm so happy to be here. You guys have been so warm and welcoming, and this is real exciting.
Yeah. So to thank you for being here and sharing great space with us as well. So I know you're doing so much. Just saying, I mean, the topic tonight alone that we're talking about, which is spiritual evolution,
Mhm.
and you've lived it. You this is what you live, this is what you practice in, and you talk about consciousness and complete alignment, and you're going to talk about your book and all the great things that you're doing, that you continue to make impact in the world. So talk to about us, how you started out on this journey, and enlighten us and the audience how you got to be here as an author, as a realtor, and a spiritual healer.
Sure. So it's a long journey. It's a lifelong journey, right? And I think everybody had their own issues when they were little. We all did.
Mm-hmm.
And some were more extreme than others, but they were extreme to you. Everybody had their own personal dark night of the soul. For me, I had an older brother who decided to beat up on me. So it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't fun. And that kind of was where I started and got over that, got confident again, got back out there, then, steamrolled into a marriage that was awesome in the beginning and not so awesome by the end. But we had a beautiful son. I have a beautiful daughter thanks to that. And, um, it's everything we're given is a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't always feel like it at the time.
Right, right,
It
right,
does
right.
not feel like it at the time. And, when my divorce was failing and it was horrible, and somebody said, it's like death by a thousand cuts because no one wants to get divorced. I mean, you signed up to be in it and to get through the bad parts. And it's like one little cut, and oh, we'll get through this, we'll get through this. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm missing an arm. What happened? I didn't sign up for this. And you talked about getting help, and you don't need permission. But one of the things, when I was going through it, he was drinking a lot, and he wasn't happy, and I wasn't happy, and we my work is like, I got him into detox and rehab, and then they go, what about you? You want counseling? And I go, why? And they go, well, it's free. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I went. And one of the best advices I got is I was talking to her. I go, I just can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. And she looks at me and she goes, well, can you live with the consequences? And I went, yeah. She goes, then make the ultimatum. And I did. And when he fell off the wagon again, I kicked him out of the house and I was done. And it was the best decision and the hardest decision I ever made. And it probably took me another, after I kicked him out of the house, took me another month to decide to get a divorce. But once I did, it was like, wow, on to bigger and better. And ended up meeting my next husband, who's absolutely wonderful and adores me and will do anything for me and supports me in everything I ever wanted to do. And, he also wanted to move me a lot, which I was happy living where I was. And we moved to San Diego, which was a beautiful place. Loved how walkable it was. And one day I woke up and had an extremely vivid dream. And I don't usually remember my dreams, but it was this extremely vivid dream about moving to Hawaii. And I woke up and went, I had no intention of leaving Southern California. I was very happy there. Hawaii. So I actually did what you can do, a sway test, to ask spirit, ask your higher self questions. And you face north, and you can ask a yes or no questions, and you could do a test to see if it's working. You ask yourself you ask a true question and a totally false question. So you say, my name is Nancy, which is true. And typically you will feel your body move forward. Then you ask a false, you go, my name is Minnie Mouse. And you feel yourself go backwards because it's false. Now, some people's switches are backwards. That's why you got to do a test. You got to make sure it works. So then you can ask yourself questions. And so I asked, I said, is it in, because you don't say should, because what should? What does that mean? So I said, is it in my best interest to move to Hawaii? And I got yes. And I'm going, really? So I asked again, is it in my best interest? I think I might have asked 100 times, and I got yes every single time. So I called up a friend of mine who is psychic, and she's the real deal. And she goes, I told her I had this dream, and she goes, oh, you're going to be very happy there. I'm like, okay. So I hopped on a plane, and my husband first was, we're not moving to Hawaii. It's too expensive. And we came from Southern California, which is just as expensive in different ways. And he goes, well, if we're going to Hawaii, we're going to Oahu, because that's where everything is, because there's over 1 million people in Oahu. It's the most populated island. So I went to Oahu, which is, Waikiki, Honolulu. And I looked around and I just said, I might as well stay in San Diego. It just has slightly better weather, and it just didn't have a good feel for me. So he goes, well, check out the Big Island. So I'd spent a lot of time in Maui, and I'd spent a lot of time in Kauai, and I knew Kauai was too small for me. I would get island fever. Maui was my first choice, but they'd had a big fire and lost 1,300 homes. So I kind of went, well, that was 3 years ago now. So there wasn't much available on Maui. And I went to the Big Island. And I arrived here and started looking around, and I just went, yeah, this is home. So I went home. We put our condo on the market. The minute we were under escrow, my husband and I flew out and started looking at houses, found a house, went into escrow. I was here in January. So I was here with it less than a year from when I first had my dream. And it was the best decision I ever made. I go swimming in the bay 3 mornings a week, and the water's magical. We have an active volcano, which we can go watch safely, and it's magical. We have a mountain that gets snow, and it's magical. It's just, there's just so many things, and it's the indoor outdoor lifestyle. Like the windows and doors are open all year. I don't have air conditioning or heat, and I love it. I love it. It's magical. I have ceiling fans. My ceiling fan's on right now. It's a little warm. It might be 80.
Wow.
But there's a nice breeze. There's a nice trade winds blowing. And it's just yeah, it's just magical. And then since starting right before I moved, well, 3 or 4 years ago, I got the nudge to stop eating meat. And now I'm Irish background, and meat and potatoes is how I grew up. I'm like, what do you mean we're not going to eat meat? So I said, okay, fine. So I cut out meat, and but I still ate a lot of cheese, a lot of dairy, a lot of eggs. You know, I was still okay with that. And then I went to Egypt, and this guy kept throwing me fish every meal because I wouldn't eat the meat. And I'm like, I don't want any more fish. I'm good. And then I heard, I started researching it when I came back, and they go, why is it I keep hearing we're not supposed to eat animal products? Why? So I started researching it. I read books. I started watching stuff online. I started just doing a ton of research. And the more I looked into it, the more I went, oh, that's why. Turns out the fish are full of mercury, if they're farmed. They're actually throwing chemicals in our ocean. Not that it's legal, but they are, to get rid of the lice and the stuff from the fish that are penned in the farms, which is not helping anybody. They're you know, the dairy and the cheese is the hormones from the cows. They give them hormones. They give them antibiotics. So even though you're not taking antibiotics or hormones, you're getting them from your food. So, and then, you know, I've looked into this even more, and how you got to eat clean, and it's like you got to eat organic, and I'm like, really? Why? And it's because there's pesticides. There's heavy pesticides. And then, you know, and then I looked into genetically modified, and I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? Because, you know, isn't that healthy? And it's like, no, turns out they only tested for one thing. They tested because they wanted to keep most of them. They actually wanted to make them Roundup resistant, so you could spray the heck out of your fields, and the weeds would kill the weeds, but your soybeans and corn, and would, like, mostly soybeans, I know for sure, would thrive. And they never tested for anything else. So there was one research that was just done last year that genetically modified soybeans ingested will kill the good bacteria that you get from non-genetically modified soybeans.
Wow.
They'll attack it. It's like, ugh. Like, everybody kind of knew there was a problem, but we didn't know. And that's the first that I've heard of where there's been an actual scientific study on it. But it's unintended consequences. You know, they only wanted it to do one thing, and they don't really know what all the consequences are, and it hasn't been studied. You know, when you start, so soybeans, they took a fly gene and spliced it in the soybean. And I'm sorry, that's never happening in the wild. That's just so out there. So that's why you can't have GMO, and you got to look for non-GMO, because you don't know what the other side effects are. We don't know yet. We're starting to learn. We're starting to learn. And then I was just even yesterday watching a whole bunch of doctors and scientists talking about the gut and the brain. And you know how there's that blood-brain barrier where things, you know, you put in your blood, you don't necessarily go to the brain. Well, apparently the gut goes straight to the brain.
Gut-brain access. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of studies. There's this guy in UCLA who's in charge of the gut brain institute. There's one in Sydney that was on it, and just talking about how it is so important. What you put in your mouth affects everything And then the other, the other thing we always heard,
That's why we
fitness.
wrote this book.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing you learn is, yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
No, but everything you're saying, Nancy, is so true. And it's really interesting, just to piggyback a little bit, how your journey got started. Very, very, very interesting because you made a decision. And the great thing about it, your story and what you're sharing, is that you allow, right? You allow,
Right.
you were very open because you allow spirit to just kind of move you, and you were very open to receive, and and talk to people who were having a very hard time, believing in themselves, and know
Hmm.
that there is a higher calling for them, and they might be having dreams, they might having different inspiration, but they
Listen,
are scared to take that step. Talk to, I know somebody's might be, or many people might be
yeah,
just wanting to hear this.
yeah, just you gotta listen. So our spirit guides, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, it listens to it tells us stuff all the time. We just got to learn how to listen because it's not always a really loud voice.
Hmm.
It's
The whisper.
sometimes it's a sign, it's a whisper, it's a some people hear loud voices, most of us don't.
Hmm.
It's yeah, so often it will come in dreams. It also another thing I've noticed is it comes in songs. I start getting
Hmm.
songs in my head that I can't get out of my head, and then I go, okay, what does that song mean? And then
Right,
okay,
right.
it's trying to tell me this. This is what it's trying to tell me. I'm not listening, so this is what I need to know. And that's yeah, it's not obvious, but you can actually ask before you go to bed. So the best time to listen to spirit is when you're just waking up. That's
Hmm.
when you're most susceptible because you're not
Hmm. So true.
you're all your defenses aren't up yet. So I you talked about having having a wake up routine,
Hmm.
which I do every morning now. I didn't used to, but I've finally come to my own where I open up my crown, I bring the white light from source through my crown down into my body, into my heart, and then I put roots down into the Mother Earth, and I bring up the crystalline energy of Earth up, and it meets in the heart with the source energy, and from there, and I found I've been able to heal people that way. I've healed my cats. I've healed my mother. I've healed. I send healing love to all my friends anytime they've got anything, and I've actually seen it work. It's
Wow.
I had
Wow.
a cat. I mean, my cat was she was very stressed moving here to Hawaii. It was a big deal for her, and she started peeing 14 times a day. Poor little thing, and she lost 2 pounds, which is a lot for a cat. And I realized she had some kidney issues. Well, I wanted to take her to the vet. The vets are they all have long waits here, and she was so stressed from having all the vet visits to get here. It was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of vet
Mm-hmm.
visits. So I asked, I said, is it in her best interest to see a vet? And I got no. I'm like, okay, then I'm going to do work on her. And I
Right.
started doing this and sending her healing work in the morning. And I'd ask Archangel Michael to help because you can ask for help. The angels
Hmm.
will help if you ask. If you don't ask, they're not allowed. So I asked for help, and we sent it to her, and she put those 2 pounds back on. She has no
Wow.
urinary tract issues now. She goes twice a day like a normal cat, and she's happy and healthy. And I did give her some supplements to help, but I knew that wouldn't cure it. If you go to a vet, they'll tell you there's no cure. Put her on a low protein diet. Well, she's on a regular diet now. She's not on a low protein.
Wow. You're amazing, Nancy. And I like how you touch when you said you have to ask for help because the archangels, they wouldn't step in until you ask for help. Then you opening, what would you say, you opening the portal? Would you say, you opening the
Well,
pathway?
because we have sovereignty, and we are
Hmm.
allowed to make our own decisions and our own
Hmm.
failures and our own wins. they cannot help unless we ask.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to ask to give them permission to help. So ask whoever, you can ask Jesus, you can ask any of the archangels, you can ask Mary Magdalene, you can, I mean, whoever you want, whoever you're comfortable asking, ask grandma.
Right.
You know? Grandma's up there, ask grandma. You can ask whoever, but the archangels have a little more power than grandma usually. But, you know, turns out my grandmother was into numerology too, I found out. She's come through for
Wow.
me.
Wow. You know, Nancy, just listening to you, you just giving so much of inspiration. You're giving so much of hope to individuals that is listening to this podcast this evening, because many times people are feeling lost, they're feeling drained, and they're not knowing that the answers that they're looking for is within.
Yes,
All the answers
absolutely.
that we're looking for is within our lives.
Right.
But
And
we're
sometimes it's
not
getting
take
quiet. It's getting quiet.
exactly,
And
exactly.
don't be busy. Get quiet and meditate or you know, or lay in bed and think about it and dream and whatever. But it's getting quiet.
Absolutely.
Go to nature.
Right.
Absolutely. You know, we are not pausing. We are not checking in with our intuition,
Right.
because your intuition is your GPS. Your intuition is able to tell you the things that you're looking for in your life, but we're not pausing, we're not checking in. And because you're not checking in, you can't understand. There is so much of noise at this point in time in this world. There's so much of noise. There's so much of distraction that
That's what that's why people
we're not
meditation.
pulling back and looking at our lives and see where our lives are heading. We become so frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety step in, depression step in, so many things start to happen in our lives, you know. And you're touching a very good point there. You talk about dreams, and there is something I really want to share, that many times when we are in that flow state, our dreams that we get, it always leads us into a direction, you know. But many times again, we don't pay attention, you know. Sometimes when we get the dreams, it's, oh, what stupidness is that? You know,
Well,
that's
and
many
they're
times
often
we say
silly.
that.
Yeah.
What stupidness is that? You
Yeah.
know, about 2 months ago, I'm going to share a story that happened 2 months ago. I had a dream that India is going to get a massive flood, right? I woke up the morning and I called Joan. I said, Joan, I had a dream about India is going to get a massive flood, and a lot of people are going to lose their lives, right? Right away, I said to Joan, you know what? Let me call Sahini. And I called Sahini and I said to Sahini, that is one of our sister friends that normally be on the show with us. And I said to her, I said, Sahini, there's going to be a massive flood in India, you know. And she said, is that true, Karen? I said, yes. I said, I'm just telling you because I've got the dream last night and I just want to let you know the dream, right? To my surprise, on Friday, she messaged me to let me know that India had a massive flood and about 200 and something people got swept away, right? But it's just to show you that our dreams, we need to really pay attention to our dreams, because in that realm, a lot of things is being said to us. And a lot of times what we do is that we tell ourselves, oh, this is not true. This can never be true, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but not knowing that in that realm, a lot of inspiration we get in that spiritual realm. That's a spiritual realm that we get a lot of information. A lot of times, a lot of things that you see around you birth in that realm. Your simple phone, your computer, so many things birth in that realm.
Hmm.
But a lot of times, because we are not aligned we don't understand what's happening. So we need to pay attention. Right when you wake up in the morning, write your dream down. Write, you get a journal or a book and just write your dream down. Because many times the dream may not happen right away, but it's something for the future. But it's just letting you know what is to come. So we got to pay attention to ourselves and in that spiritual realm because we're not paying attention. And Nancy, I'm really glad when you point out about how dreams are so important. And I really like when you talk about eating meat. No offense to people that is eating meat. No offense to you. That's your choice, right? But for me, I can say that when I started my spiritual journey, that's one of the things I had to give up. I had to give up eating meat because when I gave up eating the meat, a lot of things become crystal clear.
Well, so the energy of plants is so much lighter than the energy of meat.
Absolutely. Absolutely
And
right. It is
it's
so
one
much
of the
lighter.
ways that actually can help you come into your spirituality quicker because it's kind of a detox. It's a detox for your body. And, they're full of pesticides. Jeanette, they get fed all the GMO stuff that we won't eat. So you're
Yes.
still eating it if you're not eating it.
Absolutely.
Unless and there is cleaner food that's grass fed and no hormones and all that kind of stuff, which you can find. And it's a lot harder to find, it's more expensive. But it still has to get slaughtered. And that's something
Yes.
we don't think about. The United States, you don't really think about it. And I found out the average tenure of somebody in a slaughterhouse is like 30 days because they can't handle it.
Wow.
The cows are supposed to be stunned when they slaughter them. 10% don't get stunned, and they're screaming while they're being dismembered. So you're eating that stress. That's another thing. You got they're not treated well. They're not they're fed genetically modified. They're getting antibiotics. So I just heard yesterday on this same podcast that every time you take a course of antibiotics, you are losing 9 species of gut. 9 species within your gut die. And then if you take a second, there's another 9. And then if you take a third, and then so that's, but the good news is you can replenish it by eating.
Right.
Correct. Eating well. But yeah, that's what antibiotics, because, growing up in the 70s, that was, you had a cold, have some antibiotics. Have some antibiotics.
Yes.
We all took plenty of antibiotics growing up. But
That is why whenever you're taking the antibiotic, you always got to get a probiotic.
Yeah, but I found out probiotics are food for there's probiotics and prebiotics. You have to take prebiotics,
right?
Probiotics,
right?
Right. So you got to take both.
Yeah.
To repopulate back the gut.
Yes, and fermented food is good for that.
Right. Your kimchi and all those stuff. Yes.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. Yes.
Yeah. So when I went vegan, I had to learn how to cook. I didn't know how to, because it was a big piece of meat or fish and then 2 sides, right? That's what we ate. And I have a mother who hates beans. She never made beans. I never eat any growing up, and I had to learn to tolerate them, number one, and learn to start cooking with them.
Yeah. And beans are really, really, really great.
Right.
Tofu is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've started drinking tofu milk every day, and then I know I get more protein because that's high in protein.
Yes.
And it's super creamy, and it frosts like milk.
Yes.
So you can do like a foamy latte with it.
Yeah, true. So the spiritual evolution is the body going through a different phase in life.
Yes.
And when the body is going through this different phase, as you said, your body feel lighter. You feel so light, because from my experience, I felt so light when I was going through my spiritual evolution. I felt so light because you get a lot of clarity as well. A lot of clarity happen when you go into the spiritual evolution. You get so much of clarity. You understand why things are happening the way it's happening. You don't fight it, you don't force anything. You just allow, as Joan said, you just allow, because you come to that place of self-awareness.
Yeah.
And once you arrive at that place of self-awareness, you get the inner truth, because you understand yourself now in that deeper level, and it's an energetic alignment. It's very energetic, and you embody that transformation,
Yeah.
because you know now that, you know what, the body is going through a different phase. And many times we're asking for spiritual evolution. We're asking for things in life, but when we're asking for something, we need to understand that it's a process. It don't just happen just like that. It's a process we gotta go through. And that is why when we are fighting the process. And then sometimes people say, oh, this is taking a long time to happen. But because you're fighting the process, instead you try to understand the process, that you need this process in order to go to transition over into your evolution. It comes with a process, and sometimes the process is very painful.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, and I it's when you stop fighting. So we've been taught that you have to fight hard, you have to work
Right,
hard,
right,
you have
right,
to
right.
do. Well, that was our patriarchal society that's changing.
Right.
And that's not us as women. We hold things, things come to us.
True.
We don't push. We don't push. We hold. We
No.
grow. We nurture,
We
and
attract.
we absolutely we attract. You don't have to fight. And
No.
when you stop fighting,
Yes.
that's when you're getting flow.
Exactly. Because you know, the beautiful thing is that your spiritual evolution is your liberation.
Oh, absolutely. That's what we're here to do, is to evolve.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's evolve or leave.
Exactly. And it's not a destination. Every day we are evolving.
Yeah.
Correct. Nobody's there. Nobody's Jesus yet.
Right, right, right.
Buddha's Jesus or Buddha, or maybe a couple of people are, but yeah, they're still evolving too, though.
Yeah. Every day we are
Absolutely.
evolving.
Absolutely. It's a process, it's a journey. And when you stop fighting, things start opening up, things start moving.
Yes.
All of a sudden you're in flow and things start happening.
Right. That is thank you so much, Nancy, for mentioning that. And that is why it's also important to show ourselves grace whatever we're going through in the moment, because as we continue to evolve and as we continue to grow, we learn so much from the experience. Because as we ask ourselves, as you said, it's important to ask, we ask, what is this moment teaching me? What lesson do I learn in this moment, that as I encounter this experience? And as you continue to ask, and clarity will be made known to you, you will experience clarity, mind, body, and soul, mind, body, and spirit, because you're in one in that space. You're present. And so then, because you're present and you're one, the oneness in that moment, clarity is there, and then a light bulb hits off.
Yes.
And you said, wow, wow. And from the time you can hit that moment and the clarity emerges, you start to live differently, because you've already grown. You've already, as we continue to grow, but you're in a different level. You're in a different level. You're moving on your higher self, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. You're moving on a total different level. And then when you start to move at that level, and you can relate to that, Nancy, we should be sure, then your tolerance for certain things is no longer exist
No,
because you're
no.
moving on a higher level. Is that
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
right?
find things just don't bother me like they used to.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, traffic's well, I have a lot less here, but
Right.
which is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things I hear stuff going on in the world and I'm like, I don't really care. There's a
Right,
bigger
right,
plan.
right, right,
There's a bigger
right.
plan and things are going to be okay
You're
and
gonna be
the
okay.
more so a lot of people will be leaving this planet one way or the other, but a lot of people are going to be staying as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Mother Earth, I mean, you're talking about the floods in India. There's there's weather all over the place right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've had it explained that, Mother Earth has a temperature. She's sick. And you know how you get hot and cold flashes? Well, that's what
Mm-hmm.
she's doing. And when you get
Mm-hmm.
hot and cold flashes, you get storms
Yes.
and you get stuff going on and the weather patterns change because Earth will get through this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just up to you whether you're going to get through it with her or not.
Mm-hmm.
And fear is what you have to get away from.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say we had an earthquake here, and I grew up in Southern California where we've had lots of earthquakes. And there was always a pit in my stomach when things would start to shake. It's like, is this a big one?
Right.
And we had a pretty good sized one here a couple months ago, and it was the first time in my life that it was like, oh, it's an earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get that fear in the pit of my stomach,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because I know I'm okay.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just I just know I'm okay, and I'm gonna be just fine. And if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. But
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I really don't think it is, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm
No.
pretty sure it's not. I'm not done yet. There's
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
more I need to say, more I need to say. So
Right.
I'm gonna keep
Right. Right.
going.
Right. Right.
Yes.
And things might get crazy, but you know, if you're moving in the right direction, you're gonna be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I like what you said there, Nancy, because that is one of, among many many things that you do. But one of the things you are, I don't know if someone say specialized, but one of the things that you serve the world with is mental health, positivity, and peace. And talk to someone who might be looking at this show tonight, either live or gonna catch us on the replay. How do I find that level of peace that you were saying, you were talking about things that may happen, and you're not bothered, not that you're not bothered, not you're not concerned, but you have a level of peace that that is truly truly amazing, and you can still be in that calmness even though things are happening. Talk to us about how do you really get to that level or be in that space of that level of peace.
So it's part of the journey, and part of it is staying grounded.
Mm.
Absolutely. Several times a day, I will feel roots coming out of my feet and going into the ground, into Mother Earth. And I do that a lot now. I stay very grounded. Another part is I don't watch the news. I see enough
Mm-hmm.
on whatever I get in my
Same here.
email and on Facebook. I see little things, and I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so I know kind of what's going on, but I don't need to know the details.
Right, 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 right.
I don't need to know the details. It's not
Mm-hmm.
important. It doesn't involve me. It's and yeah, it's just, and it's not that I don't care. It's that it's just not important.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
no
Mm-hmm.
longer important. And I've had it said, the life we're living here is like a movie. The real life is the
Mm-hmm.
after.
The real life is the afterlife, you said.
Yeah.
Whew. This is
Mm-hmm.
so good.
This is
We're
very
just a
good
movie,
because
and this is like this little 3D movie where we have all these little stressors, and it's like, oh my gosh, she said
Yes.
that, and he said that, and it's
mm-hmm.
like that doesn't bother me anymore because yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that bothered
Mm-hmm.
everybody growing up, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
What somebody
Mm-hmm.
said, what somebody thought about. And one of the favorite things one of my mentors said is, "What other people think of you is none of your
None of
business."
your business. Right, right, right. But you have to able to work on yourself to be at that level. It
Yes.
takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of work for you to be healed, for you to compartmentalize your life and know that my journey and how you siphon things out and how you staying strong and focus on what really matters to you. Is that what it is?
Well, I think in a lot of it too was letting go of the past
That's very
and
important. That is super,
forgiving,
super important. Yeah.
forgiving people and realizing they gave you a gift. It was a hard lesson to learn. It wasn't fun, but it was a gift. It got you to where you're at today.
Hmm.
And so you have to go back and thank these people
Hmm.
and let them go. And or take that energy you have against them because that negative energy is like it's like drinking the poison to kill somebody else.
I like
You
that.
know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
You're
yes,
drinking the
yes.
poison. You're so mad. You're making
Hmm.
yourself sick. You
So
know,
true.
it's that's how you make yourself sick is being angry.
Hmm.
And anger doesn't, I mean, you can be angry for a minute and let it go.
Right.
Um, but to dwell on it, you know, I've lost 3 people in my family to cancer. And
Sorry to hear
they,
that.
I
Hmm.
know. So, but they were the 3 people who would dwell on things. They were
Hmm.
in their head. They would overthink things. They would go on and they wouldn't talk them out. They wouldn't talk them out. They, you know, kind of kept to themselves and they're no longer here.
Hmm.
So the other half of my family that's still here is the ones that can go, you know, you can get mad at things, but you can let them roll off and move on. You know,
Wow.
another thing I like to say,
Thank you for saying that.
thank you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Make you
So
stronger.
true. So true.
Right.
You
And
know,
and
you say something, Lady Jane?
no, I was gonna let you go, but I was just gonna say as the thought drop in. I think that's the hardest thing, Nancy. What you said is the hardest thing for people to let go,
Yeah.
and
So,
they don't realize that as soon as you let go and you let that burden go, there's so much gifts waiting on the other side for you to receive. So why hinder?
focusing. Yeah, it took me 2 years to forgive my ex after our divorce. I had to pay
Hmm.
him alimony. I was so mad. And then one day I finally just went, "Oh, he did the best he could with what he had."
Right, right.
It wasn't personal. It was this is where he's at. He had his
Hmm.
own demons. He dealt with his own things and this is just who he is and I learned a lot. So I thanked him for what I learned. I didn't
Yeah.
thank the person. I just did it on myself. I thanked him, but I've seen him since, and we get along just fine. It's not a problem. But yeah, I thanked him for what he gave me, and I let it go. And for me, that was a huge turning point because I
That
couldn't forgive
is.
my ex-husband until I forgave my first husband.
Wow. So when you forgive your ex-husband, the treasure, the open door became possible for you because you're no longer carrying that. You made space in your life to receive the new blessing, the new newness that
Yeah.
all along was waiting there for you.
Well, I know I went on dates and scared guys because I was so mad at my ex and then I think about it in hindsight I'm like yeah I probably shouldn't have said that but I still had all this anger which meant I wasn't
Right.
ready for a new relationship.
True. True. True.
You know,
You
you
weren't
got
ready.
to be in a good space to meet that person. You know, it's and you got to be okay with yourself. And it's something I actually told a friend of mine. I told her she's been through the ringer, a lot of husbands and cancer. And I've told her, I said, look in the mirror and say I love you. And she goes, I can't do it. And I
Really?
said, yeah. And I go,
Wow.
you have to. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on her, but she's like, I can't. And she's very spiritual and she's very religious, but she's just not there, and she's
She's
still
not there
trying.
Yes,
yet.
she's not
Right.
there.
Right.
She's not
She's
there.
not there.
No, and
Right.
I mean I can
Right.
only do so much, but
Correct.
For sure.
Correct.
but
Ye-
I try to help her when I can. She's trying to eat less meat now, and she's changing her diet and trying to
Mm-hmm.
eat healthier. And but yeah, she's not there yet. There's
Mhm.
still I think she can't forgive herself for some things that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's the number one person. You think about forgiving people. Well, the biggie is you got to forgive yourself.
So true.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely
we're
right.
not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We're not perfect, and we all did things that weren't perfect.
Right.
And you got to give yourself permission. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
I
okay.
think
Wow.
I think I think that is where people find a real hard time, as you rightfully mentioned with your friend, in to really just let it go, just to forgive yourself, love on yourself more, because the more you're rooted in self love, right? You feel more grounded, you're more empowered, and then it gives you the opportunity for greater love to flow into you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my first book, which is not published yet, is Finding My Power.
Finding my power, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that book. Yeah, finding my power. So, Karen, I think, Lady Kate, I think you had something you want to say, and I got interrupted. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. You know what? It's a flow.
Yeah.
It's a flow happening here,
Mhm.
you know.
Correct. Correct.
And because of the flow, there's so many things that is coming in,
Hmm.
because it's what the audience need to hear.
Right.
It's what the audience need to hear. And
Right.
I'm gonna pedal back a little bit of what Nancy said about the weather patterns and the change. We as human beings need to really understand that we are not separate from nature.
Hmm.
We all are connected. It's a connection happens,
And
right?
Mother Earth is part of that nature. The rock is the
Correct.
nature. The
Yeah. Yeah.
everything, the
Absolutely.
trees, all of it, the
Hmm.
plants, the fruit, the vegetables.
Exactly. When we look at a tree knows when to shed the leaves. Sometimes you look, it's green, a little bit start to get yellow until the whole leaf gets yellow. Depends on what tree it is and depends on what color it's going to take the form
Right.
to
Hmm.
transform,
Right.
right? So when we look at that leaf has no resistance to stay onto that tree. It knows, you know what? I served my purpose. I was green for once, but now I need to shed. I need to leave this tree now, you know, because it's a cycle.
Right.
It's the same thing with our lives. We have to understand when we have to shed things in our lives that is not serving us any longer.
I think our problem
It's
is we can overthink things, right?
exact
Right.
logic.
Right.
Everything you want
We
to
have
be
to
logic.
overthink it. We're so busy going, oh, but what if we did this and I could do
Hmm.
that? I got to do that. I'm supposed to do this.
Logic.
Yeah.
Yes, logic. And if we can only just look at nature, we can really understand more about ourselves. Look at a snake. A snake know when to shed the skin, you know? It knows when to shed that skin because that skin, it want to birth something that is new. So in the same thing with our lives, if we want to birth something that is new, we gotta shed the old to get the new.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well,
Because
you got
if
to make
we don't
room.
shed the old, we cannot get the new. It's the same cycle happen in our lives.
Yep.
But many times we're looking for it gotta be logic
Well,
before
and
we can
that,
go.
and everybody doesn't want change because,
Right. Right.
everybody wants to
Exactly.
keep with the devil instead of
Hmm.
what you
Hmm.
don't know.
Exactly.
And we're all
Exactly.
afraid of change, but you got
All
to
the
let
plan to
go,
change.
let go.
Right.
Yes.
And also, to add another layer in there, is that afraid of the unknown, right?
Yes.
Afraid of the unknown because you rather stick to the familiar. You rather to be complacent where you are because it's safe, right?
Right.
But to step in the unknown is a calculated risk, right?
Hmm.
And sense of not knowing. But I think there is where a lot of trust comes into play, a lot of mindset comes into play, and believe in yourself so that sometimes as you move forward to the unknown, it's also better than where you are right now. And in
Right.
order for you to grow and experience growth and expansion, you have to move forward. And sometimes you just have to just step into that unknown so that you can be able to experience life with its real fullness.
You know, that is a beautiful thing you said there before I toss the mic. And that's a beautiful thing that you just said there, Joan,
Thank you.
because when we are going through a transition period in our lives, right? There is where we get all the necessary tools that we need
Hmm.
for the
Mhm.
next phase of our lives. But what
Correct.
happened to us, we don't realize that the transition period, that disruption that happened, there is where we need to pay attention and not be fearful of the next phase of our
Mhm.
lives. Because with that disruption, all the things that the necessary things that we need is right there in that
Mhm.
disruption.
Right.
Back to you, Nancy.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything you need. Yeah. You're learning and you don't even realize you're learning.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
But we're all learning that, what we need, and we're given what we need. And
Absolutely.
it's just to receive it. You
Receive
know,
it. Receive
not
it.
a lot of
Receive
people
it.
are real resistant to receiving.
Talk about that. Talk about that. I think people need to hear that. Talk about the gift of receiving because we are constant givers all the time and we don't know how to receive. So talk about that. Talk about that and talk about us to be just humble to receive when we are on the other side of the receiving and not on the underside of giving. Talk to us
Yeah,
about that.
I think women in general have a hard time receiving because
Mm-hmm.
they got to give, 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 give,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, it's in our DNA as female. We're the ones to receive. We're not the ones to give, and it's okay to give as long as your cup is full, as long as
Correct.
you're full, as long
Correct.
as you're in a good place. But if you're giving when you don't have anything left,
Right.
it's not really worth giving.
No, true.
Nobody's
That is
doing
so
well.
true.
And you gotta be in a good place where you can give and but yeah, you really got to put yourself first. It's putting yourself first. And we've all been told, oh, that's selfish, you can't do that, but that's
Mm-hmm.
really where you need to
Mm-hmm.
be. If you're putting yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
then you have room to give. You have room to
Yes.
give, your cup's overflowing, and you're so much more effective, so much
So
more
true.
effective.
So true.
Yeah.
You know, it's because we as women, we have this nurture
Right.
way that we came in with, you know, and we give, but we always have to look at ourselves and not meet that stage of being depleted.
Correct.
You know, we gotta step back and say, this is enough. What about me? You
Yeah.
know, and looking and saying, what about me? It's not selfish, that's self-care.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
if you is not good for yourself, how can you be good for someone else?
Right.
You gotta pour into you. You gotta fortify yourself as an individual before you could pour into someone else.
Absolutely. And good
So
nutrition
many
helps
times
with
we
that.
need to, pardon me?
I was going to say good nutrition helps with that. That's a huge
Absolutely.
boost. That's
Absolutely.
an easy boost. That's an easy boost to help you on your journey.
Absolutely.
Gives you more
So
energy.
we need to pay attention. Exactly. We need to pay attention to our lives and many times we keep saying we're not understanding what's happening because a lot of times we are burnt out.
Yeah.
We are so burnt out. We don't have any boundaries. We keep pouring into people. There are certain relationships you need to get rid of from your life because you're evolving. So there's so many pieces to the puzzle, but it's understanding the pieces, where to fit the pieces in your life as an individual. And something that you talked about, I'm going to pedal back on too. You talked about listening to the news, right? Many times when we listen to the news, it shifts your energy.
Yeah.
It shifts your energy, and that is the
90%
purpose
negative.
of it.
Yeah. It's 90% negative. It's, they're bombing here. They're being consumed by a flood. This is happening there. And yeah, it's other people can shift your energy too. And you need boundaries.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, my life's changed a lot, and there's a lot of people I don't keep in touch with anymore since I moved off California. And
because evolution happened, Nancy.
well, I've been told I'm from here. This is my coming home. I've had lifetimes
Yeah,
here, and the
yep,
island
so
called me.
true. You're on point.
The island called me,
The
and
beautiful thing is that our soul knows our soul, and we get that nudge.
right,
We get that nudge because the soul knows. But
yeah,
again, we're not paying attention. We don't listen. You know, when these things arise in our lives, we shut it down. You know, we shut it down. We suppress it because we don't understand. We are not at that frequency to
right,
understand what is being coming through to us. We're not at that frequency to understand that. And because we are not there, we suppress,
ignore,
we tell ourselves that stupidness, I don't need this in my life right now. So, in order to experience the true spiritual evolution, you have to look at so many things in your life in
yeah,
order to experience that true spiritual evolution. There's
yep,
so many things in your life that you have to sit back, you have to look, you got to analyze where you're heading, because a lot of things in your life, it's when you're experiencing spiritual evolution, a lot of things needs to be eliminated from your life
oh yeah,
in order for you to experience that bliss.
yeah,
And
Right.
many times we want to hold on to these things because this is a comfort, the familiar. We don't want to let it go. And by holding on, you're going to become frustrated. Frustration can step in.
Well, I think, every time I moved, I'd been in a house 20 years, and I
Mm-hmm.
moved not far, but I got rid of a lot of stuff. And then I
Mm-hmm.
moved a little further, got rid of more
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And then I moved to Hawaii. I sold my house furnished. I left all my
yes.
furniture.
Wow.
I think I donated 12 bags of clothes. I donated, silver and silverware. I mean, like everything. And I brought a little bit. And I even look at that and it's like, why did I bring that? I still
Mm-hmm.
brought too much. And
Yeah.
you should bring what fits in a suitcase.
And
Bring a
that's
couple
Mm-hmm.
it.
suitcases, and you're good. And yeah, and somehow I filled up my closet again, but but I did. I let go of so much,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
much.
And that is very freeing.
It really was.
Yes, it is.
Very, very
It's
freeing.
very freeing. It's very
You
freeing.
you you could feel the level of energy as being released.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can feel that, and it's a good place to be. It's a
Yeah.
good place to be. That as you're sharing your story, Nancy, with us, people are drawing a lot of new level of understanding because they're looking at their own life right now and said, "What am I holding on to?
Yeah.
What am I holding on to all this stuff and it's weighing me down? Why not 2026 should be the year for you to make that change? You know,
Right, right, right,
speaking about
right.
forgiveness, how do I want to really conclude 2026? So I'm feeling
So
so
true. So
heavy
true.
laden, I'm feeling so weighed
So
down.
true.
What can I do in this moment to make that shift that I can free myself, as we were talking about the level of freedom, the level of liberation? And why
Mm-hmm.
am I carrying this stuff along with me? I mean, carried it for 10 years and whatever, however long it was been. But this is the year that you can be intentional. This is the month you can be intentional and say, you know what, this no longer fits.
Yeah.
And I'm going to move in the space of intentionality and I'm going to say, no, it's time for me to make that shift so that I can serve myself on a higher level.
Yeah, and I mean, start with your closet. I went through about 3 passes, I
Mhm,
went through the first pass and then I went through and I go, "Okay, I really don't need this." And, and it took more than one pass.
mhm,
And I did it for my mother too. My mom had been in her
mhm.
house for 58 years,
Woo!
Wow, wow,
That's
wow.
a long time.
a very long time. And she had
Wow.
2,800 square foot house, and I sold it. I was able to sell it off market to somebody who wanted to fix it up because it hadn't been fixed up since my parents moved in the 60s.
Mhm,
Wow.
And and then we had an auction it sold a lot of stuff, but then what they didn't sell, which was great, they boxed it all up,
Mm-hmm,
mhm.
mm-hmm,
donated.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The it was the veterans would come every week and I put out they take 40 boxes at a time. So I put 40
Wow,
boxes out every week.
wow,
Wow.
And then, we donated 100 boxes of books to the local library because
wow.
my mother loves books.
Yeah, yeah.
And she still brought too
Wow.
many to San Diego, but yeah, we moved her into this little 2-bedroom condo, and the movers are coming, and my husband and I are unpacking as fast as we can so that you could move in the condo because there was too much stuff.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So then
mm-hmm.
I got that cleared out, and then she got to the point where she just goes, "I can't live here. I can't live alone anymore." So she moved in with us, and it was
Yeah.
a little tight in our condo. And I said, "Mom, I'm going to Hawaii. You want to come?" She goes, "Sure." So she
Wow,
came with
wow,
us.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's
So
truly amazing.
I was able to get rid of
What a
so I
gift.
still have her condo, but we left all the furniture there. But it's funny, every time we go, she brings something back with her, and I go, "Mom, it's still yours. You can use it." I might need this.
Mhm, mhm.
Wow,
That's,
that's truly
that's,
amazing.
it's
That's
truly
truly, truly
amazing.
amazing.
It's
Yeah,
truly
it's truly
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Nancy, talk to us about misalignment and alignment.
Well, I think misalignment is a lot of fighting and a lot of lower energies. There are lower
Yes.
energies. It's yin and yang, and there's the lighter, the higher, and the lower, the heavier. And
Mm-hmm,
it's
mm-hmm.
the war, the fighting. It's the hate. Hate is all lower energies. All
Right.
those energies, they'll bring you down.
So
You
true.
gotta, you gotta just. So one thing I did learn is about protecting your heart, because people who live with you will mix their energies with you. Other people can mix their energies. So one of the things too I do in the morning when the light comes down is I visualize a huge shield around my heart. People can touch it, people can see it, but they can't mix with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just to protect me.
Mm-hmm,
So that's one of the things I've learned more recently to do, just to keep myself pure and to keep other people from affecting me. Because a lot of people are big empaths. I've seen
mm-hmm.
a lot that they just take on. Well, actually, I did a little with my cat. I ended up getting kidney issues after I cured her, so then I had to work on myself.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I needed some help. It's harder to work on yourself than on other people.
Mm-hmm,
Yes.
But yeah, I actually empath that. So people, and that's one of the things the news can do is it can get inside you and it can mess with you. And all
Mm-hmm.
that negativity can bring you down and you need to
True.
protect
mm-hmm,
yourself. And by not watching it, you're protecting yourself,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You need to know, it'll probably be on on your phone or on your
Oh,
on your
right, right,
now.
right.
If it's big enough, you'll hear about it.
True.
So,
We
so
don't
protect your, we need to protect ourselves by bringing that light in as a
bring that
morning
light. So every
routine.
morning, yeah, I bring it and I see it come around my heart and protect it. And I ask it to protect my heart so that I don't empath any from anybody else. I don't get anybody else's energy unless I allow it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you
I
allow it.
have to mentally allow it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just letting it come into me, because
Mm-hmm.
that is what a lot of women do. Some men do, but probably see more women than men.
Mm-hmm.
They just everything. I mean, I have an aunt that will turn on the news and start crying.
Wow.
She is so
Mm-hmm.
impacted, and it's like, stop watching the news, stop watching
Mm-hmm.
the news. And she's just so impacted by everything hits her, and she just takes it in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not
Mm-hmm.
yours. And that's another thing you can ask the angels is to get rid of what is not mine. I
Not
no longer
yours.
me.
Right.
What is not mine, it's not mine. Let go, let go, let go.
Mm-hmm. So, in other words, we have to be proactive and do the work for ourselves so that we
Yes.
can protect ourselves. We do our morning routine, ask for guidance, ask for help, and as you say, ask the angels to protect us and let go. If we can't physically do it for ourselves by letting go, ask to get the assistance so it can make it easier and lighter for you that you can come to a place where you can just let things go.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Again, the angels are there to help us, and all we have to do is ask.
Mhm, mhm.
All you have to do
So,
is ask.
thank you for saying it. So, talk to us about the book because you wrote the book, "Finding My Power in 2 Days of Solitude in San Diego." Is that how that happened? And talk to us about how miraculous that was for you.
So yeah, I've never considered myself a writer. I mean, I know how to write, and I always hated writing in high school, and I did okay, but it was always a struggle. And I just got this idea that I needed to write this book. And my husband and I had a boat in the harbor in San Diego, and I told him I had to go live on the boat. And I was on the boat about a month, and then it was like, I need to write this book. And I just sat down and wrote it. And then
Ooh.
I kind of put it away. And then I pulled it up and looked at it, and I went, dang, that's good. I went to go edit it. It was like, there was nothing to edit. I'm like, wow, how did I write that?
Mhm.
So I know
That
that
was
was,
your higher self.
yes,
Mhm.
yes, because, Earthbound Nancy doesn't write like that.
That's
It
your
came,
higher self.
it came from up there, absolutely.
Mhm.
Because
And
it's a
thank you for
life.
listening.
Yes.
Mhm.
My husband was so upset. He was like, "We're leaving me." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I just need to be alone for a while." And I just had
Yes.
to, it was something I just needed to do, and I didn't know why. I just knew I needed to do it. And that was another thing where I listened. And my
Mhm.
husband was very upset, and I said, "I'll come home on the weekends." So I did, and I go, "This is not a divorce. This is, it's just something I need to do. I need to be alone for a while."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it was a little more nature for me to be floating on the water and
Oh my goodness.
find
That
my
had
Wow,
to be
wow, wow,
bliss.
wow,
you know.
wow. And you get all the downloads and every single thing that was coming
Hmm.
to you.
Yeah, it was do miss that boat. We weren't able to bring it with us.
Oh, wow.
The boat is a lot
Mhm.
of memories there. It's a lot of
Mhm.
memories, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was a lot of fun. We truly
yeah.
enjoyed that boat. Unfortunately, in this island, there's where we live in Kona, there's like one marina and it's full, and there's a 6-year waiting list.
Oh.
Wow.
So you kind of need a boat you can haul, and this boat you couldn't have hauled.
Hmm. Right, you couldn't haul. Yeah,
Mhm.
there was
Mhm.
no haul.
No,
Yeah,
it's one that sat
yeah.
in that needed a dock, and we don't have a dock here. And plus, they wanted, was it $70,000 to ship it over and to cut the top off? We're like, okay, I
Woo.
guess we're not taking it. We sold it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Again, just you explaining that, it clearly shows us that many things we may love in our lives, but we gotta let it go.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right, right,
We gotta
right.
let it go.
Well, my husband's currently shopping for a new boat here that's smaller that we can get in and out, but he still wants a
Mhm.
boat. We're still looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
You
Yeah.
yeah.
guys have a good time with it.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Well, he finally got the car that'll pull it. He had to get
Oh,
a big enough
hmm,
Jeep that could tow the boat.
right.
So we finally got that. Now he's more seriously looking for his boat.
Hmm, hmm.
Wow. Someone is asking a question.
Yep.
How has your emotional intelligence or emotional awareness expanded through your evolution?
That's a good question.
So I things don't bother me anymore.
Hmm.
Things that used to make me mad, used to get me
Right.
upset, they just don't bother me anymore. So that's part of it. That's part of your emotional intelligence and um my my awareness. So I notice the birds a lot more. Of course, they're easier to
Hmm.
notice here because we have so many. But they're like loud now. I don't know how to, but they're very loud, and it's a good thing. But they're loud.
Yes.
Um, I just, I do. I notice things in people, and I think I'm more observant than I used to be of
Hmm.
other people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, it's been better. It's definitely I'm in a better space than I was.
Hmm.
It's I got to dance with the trees a couple weeks ago.
That's always beautiful.
They
That is always beautiful.
We have a
That
cloud
is always
forest.
beautiful.
Yeah, we have a cloud forest here where they get the trees get 60% of their water from the clouds because clouds come in every night,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Mm-hmm.
has to be at like 3,000 feet or something. And I went there, and this woman does. She puts on the head. You put on the headphones, and she plays these beautiful songs, and you just start moving and danced with the trees. It was so cool.
Wow,
And then she kind of talked
beautiful.
you through a meditative kind of thing. It was really fun.
Wow.
Wow.
When you get to experience such a joy in nature, you feel filled up, you feel well fortified, you feel a level of joy living
Yep.
because your soul is really calm, enjoyment, and you're just a different person because life is being fulfilling you on so many levels.
Yeah. Yeah. The other day we went swimming and we got surrounded by dolphins.
Oh yes,
Ooh.
talk to us
So
about that
cool.
experience. Talk to us about
So
that experience.
yeah, I go in the ocean 3 times a week. We usually don't see dolphins, but occasionally we'll see them. And the surf was kind of heavy, so we thought we'd go in a different way to see if it was going to be a little calmer coming in. And as we're swimming towards the that other outlet, they like came and they like circled. There was like 20 of them
My
circling us.
goodness.
They were
Wow.
the little spinner dolphins that we get here in Hawaii, and it was just so cool.
Magical.
That is
Magical.
magical. That is
Magical.
magical. That
Oh
is
my
magical.
goodness, that is,
That
but
is magical.
again, it's the energy that is it's coming out. That is what attract,
Yeah.
you
That is
know,
magical.
Well, it was
because
a smaller
when you
group
look at that,
in a
it's a
way.
message. It's a
Yeah.
Mhm.
message.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The dolphins are so fun.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And talk to us about the volcano. Talk to us about that. You've been sharing the story with us behind the scenes, but talk to us about that. Paint that picture.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a couple of active volcanoes here on the Big Island, and one for the last year and a half or so, it's been going off every 2 to 4 weeks. So it goes off for about 8 to 10 hours and then it stops. It does the high lava fountaining up to like 1,000 feet.
Mm,
And the crater's so big that you can see it from like a mile away, which is really,
Wow.
safe distance. And
wow.
as long as the wind's blowing in the right direction, if it starts
Hmm.
blowing towards the other end of the rim, they close everything down. But I stumbled upon it shortly after I moved here, and my aunt and my cousin were visiting, and we went, and it was just so powerful to see all that lava coming up, the red hot lava coming up, and it was fountaining about 1,000 feet. And it's just mesmerizing. And my aunt was just bucket list, bucket list, bucket list. She was just so amazed. And it's just awe-inspiring to see, they call it Pele. It's Pele's fear, Pele's fire. Pele's the goddess of fire. And she's in charge of the volcanoes here. And Pele was just in all her glory. It was just amazing. It's so there's just so much energy coming out of that. So much
bet.
energy. Fortunate enough to see it. It's just I've seen it twice when it's gone off now. And
I
it's
bet.
just,
What a view.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Beautiful.
It's just
Wow.
incredible. So that's another little thing we get to see here on the island. Fortunately, she's not doing any damage at the moment. It's
Right.
just a show.
Wow, this was so good. Nancy, it's so beautiful when we can really trust ourselves because you trust yourself and you didn't fight.
Right.
Right. You
You
embrace.
trust, you embody yourself.
I did
And
ask
because you,
a lot.
pardon me?
I did ask a lot. Just
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you embody yourself and you told yourself that, you know what, nothing is gonna get in the way of this.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And because you did that, you now was able to write that book.
Mm-hmm.
And that book will help so many other people to trust
Mm-hmm.
what is happening. Because a lot of times we are experiencing things, as we said in the early part in the show, but we
Right.
don't understand what we are experiencing.
Right.
It's because we are not there as yet. But picking up a book like the one that you wrote and reading that book, it would help an individual to understand the journey of life and the journey of spiritual evolution.
Right. And everyone has something.
Of course.
Everybody does.
Course.
And some are more traumatic than others,
Mhm.
but they're all traumatic to you.
Yes,
Whatever it
Yeah.
is, it's traumatic to you.
yes,
And we all have to overcome it.
yes,
And typically we've agreed to go through this.
absolutely.
We agreed with our tormentors. We made an agreement before we were born. And this was all decided so that you could learn, because we're born on this planet and we forget everything.
Mm-hmm.
We forget everything we've learned in our last lives. We're like starting all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And we have
I'm
to
so
realize-
happy you bring up that point. I'm
Right.
so happy
Me
you
too.
bring up
Me
that
too.
point.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we run away from that, not knowing that everything that is happening is an assignment that we signed up for.
Right.
Because remember that we are here to raise our level of consciousness. And in order to raise the level of consciousness, we made these agreements to raise the level of consciousness.
Well, you have to raise your own before you can raise anybody else's.
True.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
True.
I really like when you said we forget when we come in, because we come in into this
Yeah.
and we forget. And a lot of time it's conditioning. Sometimes you come through a home whereby the parents suppress it.
Yes.
You know?
You didn't hear that. You didn't see that. There's nobody there. And there's a lot of people that see, and a lot of little kids hear and see things. And then they're
Absolutely.
told, oh, that doesn't exist. And
Absolutely.
so they forget.
Absolutely. So we suppress that part of ourselves. So when we come into the adult phase now, it's difficult for us to understand, because remember, we suppress it.
Right.
And the conditioning that we went through as a child we telling ourselves, oh, that's not me, that's stupid, and all of these words start to come up, and then now you're questioning yourself, you're questioning your evolution, not knowing that it's a part of your evolution that you're going through, but you're questioning it because of the conditioning that happened as a child.
Correct. Correct. Because you were told, no, you didn't see that. No, you didn't hear that. Don't
Yeah,
tell anyone. Don't, and then you learn how to not see it anymore.
absolutely,
You learn how to unsee
absolutely.
it. And then you have
And
to relearn.
yeah, then you got to relearn it. That's true. And the kids that are coming in now, they are so sharp.
So there was somebody who described the race of the future, and he described autistic children.
I heard that. I heard that.
He said they're not going to be real good at feelings and interacting with other people, and they're going to be naturally vegan, vegetarian. They don't like meat.
Yes.
They don't. I mean, so they're and a lot of things that he described. It's like that's autistic kids.
Yes.
But they think outside the box. They think different. They do a lot of telepathy.
Yes.
That we don't understand. But that's kind of the new way of the future.
Yes. 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 And the thing is that we judge what we don't understand.
Yeah.
Right.
We judge what we don't understand. That we look at things, and because we're not understanding, we tend to get all this judgment about it.
Put it in a box. This is
Yeah.
Right. But this is such an amazing conversation.
It is.
We know that you will be returning, but quickly before you wrap up, just talk about the realtor side of you, your realtor hat, and the classes that you got coming up with. If someone is thinking about moving to Hawaii for a vacation or so, talk quickly about that and let us understand who our viewers understand, because Hawaii is exciting, all the great things you're talking about. So talk to us about that and help us to understand what is this all about. If that's something in your mind of your on your bucket list, we should say.
Yeah. If you're looking to move to Hawaii, I've actually started working on a class through a group called Living in Hawaii. We are starting a class. Classes will be starting in October, and it's going to be a 6-week class where I've been pre-recording the class curriculum. But it starts with, is Hawaii right for you? Because a lot of people move here that shouldn't, and then 2 years later they end up leaving. So it's not for everybody. So it kind of starts with that. There's homework assignments, and then once a week there's a live class with me, and we'll go over any questions you have. You'll get to meet other people that are looking to move Hawaii, get to know them. So it's kind of a community, and then once you're part of that community, we do a monthly call with past people and people looking to move here and people that are already living here. So it's kind of a great way for people if they're not quite sure, they want to dip their toes in.
Right.
It talks about the different islands. They're all very different, and which island's right for you. There's 4 main islands here, and they're all very different, very different. So, it talks about, which island's right for you, what are you going to do for income, how are the taxes. Kind of goes through everything. We got a budget thing online that you can do and try and figure out what your budget would be depending on your island, depending if you're renting or owning or that kind of thing. And then the goal is if you decide to move to Hawaii, I consider myself a spiritual healer realtor, and I actually go through and feel the energy of homes and work on matching the home to the person. So I will go through and ask the home if this is the right place for this person.
Yes.
And the home will tell me, because homes have energy too.
Yes.
So it's a little different.
Wow.
Yes.
What I do is something a little bit different that most realtors don't do. But
True.
I've been I'm a broker in California, and then I'm a sales associate here in Hawaii.
That's what makes you so special.
I was just about to tell her that. That is what makes you so special and unique.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little unique, and I am here on the Big Island. However, I am on a team, and we actually have associates on every island, and I can get you to the right person in any island.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that is really great because it's helping an individual to understand that sometimes you're looking to go to Hawaii and you have a guide that can take you and help you to understand more about Hawaii.
Yeah,
So
and
it's so beautiful. Can you talk to us about your garden that you're growing all these vegetables and these beautiful crops?
well, my garden.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, so I've never been big on growing anything. I had a brown thumb. I could kill any plant. So now I have a yard, and it rains so much here and things grow. So I have planted all kinds of trees. I have an orange tree, I have a lemon tree, I have a mango tree, I have a cherry
Wow.
tree, I have an avocado tree. They haven't produced yet. I'm waiting for them to produce, but I have lots of berries. I have raspberries and blackberries. And the interesting
Wow.
thing I learned about my blackberries is I was picking them as soon as they turned black, and then they were kind of bitter. So I asked my guy, I'm like, well, when do you pick blackberries? So it's personally 3 days after they turn black, completely black.
Wow.
They start out red and then they turn black. So now I know when to pick. I wait. And I have strawberries that the lizards are eating. I've had some tomatoes. I've had some squash. I've been trying different things. I have some raised beds. We're growing some basil
Wow.
and, just different things, trying different things, but
Wow.
loving it. Loving it.
That's
I'm
so
into growing
beautiful.
vegetables now, but yeah.
That's really beautiful. And you get to communicate with nature, Mother Earth.
I
You get
do.
to talk to her,
Get my hands dirty. Get
Mm-hmm.
my hands dirty, and yeah.
That's
And
truly amazing.
and I was just hearing how much the berries are good for you, the polyphenols
Yes,
in
the
the berries.
polyphenols. Yes,
So
yes,
I get
yes.
them right out of the ground. I pick them and I eat them.
And it's organic.
And it's organic, yes. No pesticides in
That's
my
the beauty. It's organic.
yeah,
You don't have to worry about the pesticides or nothing.
right. Right. No, I
That's
know
the
how it's
beautiful
grown.
thing when you grow your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's something new. I haven't. Oh, and I have pineapples. I had my first little pineapple. It was about half size.
Wow. Wow.
But it was
That's
so
so
good.
great.
It was so good. So those only come out once a year. And I had 5 plants. One
Wow.
plant blew away in the Kona low, and only one bore fruit for me. So we're hoping next year we'll get some more.
You get more crops. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Great
Everything
job. Great.
takes a while. Everything takes a while to produce. I'm like, hurry up.
Yeah, great job. Great. And I guess because of the rain, a lot of rain, it really helps the crops.
It does. Well, that, and if they're in the dirt, we have volcanic soil, which is the richest soil you can
Yes,
get.
it's rich. Yeah,
It's
the
because it
soil
comes
is
from the center
rich.
of the earth, right? It's not overgrown, it's not overfarmed,
Yes.
and but the funny thing about it, so on our side, we don't even have waterfalls because the um the volcanic rock is so porous. It
Mm-hmm.
pours
Mm-hmm.
here and there's no puddles. I've never seen anything like it. It pours and
Wow.
pours and it runs down
Wow.
the hill, but it stops raining. There's no puddles to be found.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
That's
really amazing.
amazing.
And I live on a steep
Yeah.
hill too, but my property's flat and nothing puddles. So if I don't get rain every day, the grass starts to die.
Wow. So it
Like,
needs to
water
rain.
because it's so porous, the dirt doesn't hold the water.
Yes, yes, yes. It needs to rain. Wow. But again, could you just imagine that nature knows that this part needs the water. So you get the rain steady coming down because it knows, that this
Well,
part needs the water.
so what's else is interesting is the United States has 14 climate zones. Hawaii has 10.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
varies a lot depending where you live. There's one place
Yes.
on the island just north of here that gets 10 inches a year,
Ooh.
the dry side.
Wow.
Then Hilo on the other side, on the east side, is one of the wettest places in the United States. It gets over 300 days of rain a year.
Whoa, goodness. Wow.
So I'm kind of in between.
Yeah, you're in between. You're just in between there. Yeah,
I'm on
yeah.
the dry side, but I'm at a higher elevation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
often it'll be raining or drizzling here, and sometimes it only rains for a couple minutes, 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
but you look down and you can see the sun down below.
Wow.
You can see I'm like right at the edge where the clouds kind of stop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
love it. It keeps it a little bit cooler, and that's why I don't need
Right.
air conditioning.
Yes.
Whereas lower elevations, where all the resorts are, you always need air conditioning because it's a little more humid, and it's
Right, right.
5 to 10 degrees cooler consistently where I live than down at the beach.
Wow, beautiful. And how far away is the beach from you?
I think it's like 6 miles,
Okay.
the beach, but the ocean's only 3 miles, four,
Okay.
4 miles, and I can
Okay.
see it. It's just downhill.
Wow.
On the hill. I'm actually above the airport, the Kona
Okay.
airport. And then, but if I drive to town, I think it's 6.5 miles to town, which takes about 15 minutes because nothing's faster.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah,
or I can go
yeah.
to another beach, Koa Beach is probably about the same distance.
Okay.
So if I want to go north or south,
I would say it just depends where you want to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of beaches. They're not big sandy beaches. They tend to be very rocky here because this is the newer island. Because so you think of those
Uh-huh.
great sandy beaches in Hawaii, well, those are the other islands. And at the north end of this island, which is the older, so I don't know if you know how the islands were the island chain was built, is it started north and it's been moving south. So all
Oh,
the volcanoes are on the
wow.
south end, and there's a new one under the ocean, which someday will be a new island that is also erupting.
Wow.
So
That's
the
amazing.
volcanoes are all moving south. So that's why we're the only ones with an active volcano in the south end of the island.
Mm. So the one that is under there, so someday it's gonna just come to the surface.
Correct. Someday
Wow.
it'll be a new island, but they say it's going to be like hundreds of years, like not in our lifetime. But
Wow.
someday it'll be
It's
a
gonna
new
come
island.
right up.
And when they first come out, they're not very inhabitable.
Right.
Takes a
Right.
while.
It takes a while before you really get in there. Yes. So
Yeah.
I guess when they come up, is the water would cleanse it.
So I hear the water. So I've heard this is part of Lemuria. The Hawaiian
Mhm.
chain is part of Lemuria, and the Lemurians, from what I understand, I have been told, still live here under the water. We just don't see them. This is what I hear.
Food for
And
thought.
yeah, food for thought. Or they're in another dimension where we can't see them. I don't know.
Yes.
Because there's a
Yes.
lot of things we can't see, which I heard is due to the shape of our eyes. We can't
So
see,
sure.
we see things differently than other they're saying aliens and ETs and stuff.
That's
They
a
see
whole new topic. That's a
that's a
whole
whole
nother topic.
that's a whole other topic, but yes.
That's a whole nother topic, Nancy. Oh, Nancy, this was so good. This was
Oh, this
really,
is
really
so
good.
fun. Yes.
Yeah, we had so much of fun because you know what, the frequency is just right. The alignment is good. So
Yep.
things just flow. There
Yeah,
was just a flow happening.
absolutely.
And we really want to thank you for just taking the time. What time is there now in Hawaii?
What time is it? I don't know. 3 o'clock.
Oh, we are now 9 o'clock here.
So my neighbor's playing Hawaiian music across the way right now. He
Wow.
plays the ukulele and he
Ah,
sings. and they
Wow, that's
practice all the time
beautiful.
in their carport, and he
Oh,
sings in
that's so
Hawaiian.
nice.
Yeah, it's great. I get to hear all these Hawaiian songs. We get our own private stuff.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Wow,
They do that
great
a lot in
choice.
Canada. I didn't know it when well, actually, he didn't own the house when I bought it. He bought it after I bought. So
Yeah,
he didn't live
yeah,
here.
yeah.
He and his family bought, and then he's been teaching his son how to play ukulele too.
Oh my goodness. So he's passing it on to the next generation.
Yep, yep. And I
Yeah.
think he's performing now. He wasn't. He was a teacher when he moved in, and now I think he's just performing. But
Okay.
he's but they're really good. It's really fun. We get this nice little serenade every once
Yeah,
in a while.
every once in a while, yes, you get it. Wow, wow, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nancy, thank you so much for taking the time and just sitting with us, because you have really outlined a few tools that the audience can use. And we all have the tools within ourselves.
We do.
The tools are there. We only got to work the tools and get exactly what we're looking for in our lives. It's just to work the tools.
Right.
And we sometimes question ourselves and doubt ourselves. And that is because of fear.
Yes.
Because of fear, we really don't know what's unfolding in our lives. But
Right.
we need to step back, look at ourselves. And as you rightfully said earlier on, we can ask for guidance.
Yes.
We can ask for guidance. We many times we think we could do it on our own, but sometimes we can't. We can ask for guidance.
Yes.
And once we can ask for guidance, we can able to get help from that spiritual realm. You can
Correct.
ask for guidance.
Just know you have to ask. They can't help unless you ask.
Exactly.
Because
You
we
got to
have
ask.
free will. They are not allowed to interfere. They are not allowed to
Exactly.
interfere unless we ask.
Ask.
They are ready, willing, and able to help. They want to help. They just can't until you ask.
We have to ask. Yeah, we have to ask and stop fighting. Stop resisting.
Yes.
Stop
fighting.
resisting.
Start going with the flow.
Yes, stop resisting and know that you are unique, you're worthy enough for all the great things to come into your life. But
So
it
we're
all
So yeah, you say we're unique, and we are, but then in the end, we're all one and the same at the same time.
absolutely. We are one of the same. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have a choice, we have a free will.
Yes. That's why
And
we can fight. We can fight and stay in misery. We're allowed. Or you can stop fighting it, ask for help, and move on.
yes, absolutely.
And
This was so good. We really got to do another episode because so
absolutely,
many things come out from this episode, Nancy. So many things.
a lot of
And
things did, yeah.
yeah, a lot of things come out from this episode. And we just want to thank the audience for just taking the time and sitting with us. I hope that you walk away with some little nugget this evening because we all going through spiritual evolution. We all going at some point in time in our lives, we're gonna need this type of guidance to help us on our journey of spiritual evolution. And as we step out of this episode, remember, evolution is not a single moment. It's an ongoing process. It's a rhythm. It's a rhythm. A rhythm is happening within your life. And get your journal. Make sure you write down stuff. What you're experiencing right now, write it down. Again, ask for clarity. Ask for the clarity because you don't understand what's happening at this moment. Ask for clarity. And just know that what happened yesterday, today is a totally different day. You have evolved into today. From yesterday to today, you evolved into today. That is why, exactly, that is why when you celebrate your birthday, you evolve a whole year to come to that present moment. That evolution happened and the thing is that you may not see it, but you evolved.
Yeah.
You may not see it, but it happened. You get to witness another year of your life. And speaking about that, Lady J birthdays, and I think it's on Tuesday, right, Lady J?
Now, why would you want to do that?
You should, since you hear I'm talking about evolution and birthdays and all of that, you should know I'm getting there.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Mhm.
getting there, Milady J. You know, and it's a beautiful thing to experience evolution with you as my sister,
Mm.
because we made this agreement to walk this path together.
Yes. Yes.
This is our assignment.
Mhm.
And I am so fortunate to have an evolving soul like yours
Mhm.
to walk this path with, because we are on the same frequency. We are able
Mhm.
to help each other as sisters, and we are able to experience the evolution together. So it's such a beautiful thing, and I'm so grateful and I'm so thankful that we have evolved into this space of evolution. And every day we are evolving into so many areas in our lives. And it's so blissful. You know, it's so blissful to get to experience that. Right, Lady J?
I think one word, if I want to, thank you so much for saying that, and I love you dearly. And
Love you too.
it's I think it's magnetic.
Yes.
It's magnetic because every day we see so many miracles, and we practice what we preach. Because when we saying allow, just allow spirit, or just allow the process to unfold and so on, and just see the amazing thing that is happening. It's just truly a blessing. We just thank, because we talk to God all the time, we talk to spirit all the time, we talk to our guides all the time, and we just want to say, just live with gratitude, and that on a higher level, but also grateful to all the people that surround us and support us and encourage us and everything. So, and I gotta say to our mothers and our grandmothers, who are our true heroes in our lives, because they're the one who instilled the values, and who you see today and everything that we do on this level, is our mother and our grandmother. They are our supported foundation that we're standing on. And we just, what we doing, we just, like, we did a talk in Juneteenth, right? And the topic was honoring the past and elevating the future. And so that's what we do. We honor our ancestors, right? But we also, how do we honor them? We honor what they've done. They left the blueprint with us and instilled value with us. But we are able to take it on another level, and we are elevating that legacy, and everything that we do right now with books and everything that we really do, and just love on people and just live a life of service, really. So
Absolutely right.
thank you,
That's wonderful.
Nancy.
Yeah. I actually
Yeah.
started my spiritual journey with my sister who has since passed.
Oh,
Mm.
sorry
Yeah.
to hear
Sorry to hear
that.
that.
Yeah, but that was, yeah, I wish I could do it with her still today, but that's
But
okay
you
too.
know what? You're still doing it with
I know.
her
And she's still
in
with me.
spirit.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
She's still
yeah,
with me.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
powering me
She's
on.
helping you on your journey.
Mm-hmm,
She is
mm-hmm,
in spirit
I
helping you
know.
on your journey.
I know.
mm-hmm.
She was the one that really got me into diet.
Really?
When
Wow.
when she was diagnosed with cancer, she started working with somebody in diet, and she's the one that was telling me, no, you have to have grass-fed beef, and you have to have this, and yeah, and watch your water. That was she was getting special water. She was doing all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
She is with
Wow.
you. Is with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, she
And
is.
she's
Yes.
advancing you forward every day.
Mm-hmm.
Her presence is with you all the time.
Wow. This is truly amazing, Nancy. This alignment is really, really, really good. So it's such a good, it feels
Right.
right.
It does.
Right. That's so true. It feels
Today's been
right.
It
so
feels
fun
right.
to, yeah, and you've been so fun to talk to.
Yeah, thank you. It feels just
Same
right,
here.
And to the audience, stop fighting.
Yeah,
Stop fighting and allow your evolution to happen. Stop fighting.
stop
Stop
fighting and
Mm-hmm.
fighting
start
the
loving.
evolution. Allow it. Allow it to happen. If
And
if you can't do it, reach out and get the right kind of help that you need for you to understand what's happening at this point in time in your life. Get the right kind of help. And you got to honor your pace. This is not a fast paced thing. A lot of times we want to get this thing so quickly.
Yeah.
We gotta honor this space. We gotta honor our truth. We gotta honor the quiet revolution that is happening within our lives. Is a revolution happening within our lives, because there are a lot of things that gonna start to wake up within you. It's a waking up that is happening within you. As we said before, is a lot of disruption, like a volcano. It starts happening. It's like a volcano happening, because so many things start to come up to the surface, because a lot of times we suppress so many things. And it started because sometimes when we feel, we get through one layer, there is another layer coming. Because we suppress so many things since our childhood. We've been suppressing. So when we think it's done, something else come up. And then something else come above that. So you really got to go through all of these phases in order for you to really experience that true spiritual evolution. And we have to trust the shift that is happening in our lives, because the shift is sacred to you alone. Because sometimes you may call someone and say to them, sometimes something is happening to me and I don't understand. And if that person is not aligned with you to understand what's happening to you, they can make you doubt your shift that's happening in your life.
Sure.
So you really got to know who you're sharing your shift with. Because many people are not aligned to understand the shift that you're going through at this point in time. So you really got to know who you're discussing your shift with. It's very important for us to understand that as well, and just know that you're whole, but there are just things within your life that needs to be addressed. There are things that you need to address in your life, as I was saying before, that you suppress for a very long time. Sometimes you may be sitting, and because these things start to arise in your life, suddenly you just start crying for no reason. You just start crying for no reason at all. Tears just start to flow down, because that is a part of healing. And just allow the tears to flow, because you're healing yourself at that point in time. Things that you suppressed for so many years, you're healing. It's a part of healing. Tears is a part of healing. And your evolution is spiritual. It's very, very spiritual. And just sit back with yourself. And as Nancy rightfully said, ask for help. Ask for the help. And you will get the clarity that you need during your evolution. And evolution is not a one-day thing, as I said. It's not a one-moment thing. It's not a one-moment something. Sometimes it takes months before you really understand exactly what's happening. Sometimes it takes months. Sometimes it takes a year, 2 years. Who knows? It's all depends on us, what stage we are in and what we really need to get rid of. When we fighting, it's gonna take longer.
Yeah.
When we allow ourselves to experience what we need to go through, it's gonna guide us and help us to understand the journey that we are on, because everything is gonna start to fall into place, because you're not fighting, you're not resisting, you're just allowing things to fall into place. So we just want to thank you so much. We just hope
I think Nancy has something to say.
Nancy, you got something to say?
No, just what you said it all beautifully, and just stop drinking the poison to kill somebody to hurt somebody else. You're only hurting yourself.
True, 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 true. So true, so true.
Let it go. Fear is how you can be controlled. And so you got to let fear go. You got to be
Yes,
happy and you
so
got to
true.
be complete. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
fear is how people have controlled other people for years. Decades.
Yes,
Mhm.
so true. So true what
Without
you're
fear,
saying.
they can't do it.
So true.
True,
That's
true,
part of
true, true.
reclaiming your power is we all
Mhm.
have the power within us. And
Yes.
yeah, let that, if you're not afraid, they can't hurt you.
So true. So true. Thank you so much, Nancy. Joan, thank you so much as well. And to the audience, thank you on IG, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Thank you, each and every one of you, for taking the time and sitting with us. And we hope that you take away something today that can help you on your journey of true spiritual evolution. Until next time, keep rising, keep remembering, and honor your soul. Bye bye. Have a fabulous week.
Aloha.
Aloha.